The term big man in the NBA is a simple phrase meant to refer to someone who has a rather intimidating frame or a looming large presence to them that helps them tower over all others.
What happened? I mean, did you eat the whole time I was in there?
There have been many big men in the NBA throughout its history, and some all-time greats. We're talking men like Shaq, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Giannis, and more. But one that often has a small question mark next to their name is that of Yao Ming. He is a legend in the NBA, but his career was very much shortened by injuries, so thus we must ask, how good was Yao Ming actually? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 6. Early basketball days in China. If you somehow didn't know, Yao Ming was born and raised in China, and it was there that his impressive height and basketball skills were capitalized on. Yao was the only child of 6 foot 7 inch Yao Zuyan and 6 foot 3 inch Fang Fengdi, both of whom were former professional basketball players. So right off the bat, he was destined for some great height, but how big he got, and how big he got in terms of impact, could not have been foreseen. When Yao was 9 years old, he began playing basketball and attended a junior sports school. The following year, Yao measured 5 feet 5 inches and was examined by sports doctors, who predicted he would grow to be 7 feet 3 inches, 2.21 meters. For the record, that's far beyond what the usual height of a Chinese man is. Yao first tried out for the Shanghai Sharks junior team of the Chinese Basketball Association, CBA, when he was 13 years old, and practiced 10 hours a day for his acceptance. After playing with the junior team for 4 years, Yao joined the senior team of the Sharks, where he averaged 10 points and 8 rebounds a game in his rookie season. His next season was cut short when he broke his foot for the second time in his career, which Yao said decreased his jumping ability by 4 to 6 inches. The Sharks made the finals of the CBA in Yao's third season, and again the next year, but lost both times to the Baoyi Rockets. When Wang Zhihai left the Baoyi Rockets to become the first NBA player from China the following year, the Sharks finally won their first CBA championship. During the playoffs in his final year with Shanghai, Yao averaged 38.9 points and 20.2 rebounds a game, while shooting 76.6 from the field, and he made all 21 of his shots during one game in the finals. So while he may have started out a little rough in the early days of his playing career, he soon proved that he was a force to be reckoned with, and that force led him to the NBA, after some forcing by others, that is. 5. China and the NBA. You need to know something before we proceed. At this point in time, China and the NBA were very much not involved with one another. Yes, they both had basketball leagues, but it wasn't anything meaningful. As noted, Wang Zhihai was the first China player to ever be brought into the NBA, and he didn't do that well, and so Yao Ming wasn't exactly expected to make a big splash there. But as American attention on Yao grew, Chinese authorities also took interest. In 2002, the Chinese government released new regulations that would require him and other Chinese players to turn over half of any NBA earnings to the government and China's National Basketball Association, including endorsements as well as salaries. Why do this? Because the Chinese government is rather tyrannical when it comes to things like this. If there is a way for them to make profit, they're going to find a way to make it work in their favor. When Yao decided to enter the 2002 NBA draft, a group of advisors was formed to come to be known as Team Yao. The team consisted of Yao's negotiator, Eric Zhang, his NBA agent, Billy Duffy, his Chinese agent, Lu Hao, University of Chicago economics professor, John Huizinga, and the vice president for marketing at BDA Sports Management, Bill Sanders. Yao was likely predicted to be picked number 1 overall. However, some teams were concerned about Yao's NBA eligibility because of uncertainty over whether the CBA would let Yao play in the United States. After some assurances from the Houston Rockets, he became the first international player ever to be selected first overall without previously played U.S. college basketball. He would truly make an impact in the NBA. 4. His starting years. As noted, there wasn't a lot of faith in Yao Ming as he entered the league despite his size. Charles Barkley even made a bet to kiss a butt if Yao had scored 19 points or higher in a game during his rookie season. While Yao did start off slow, he was able to get 20 points in a game before too long on 9-on-9 shooting. And Charles Barkley kissed a donkey's butt as a result. Nice one, Chuck. Another problem with Yao off the court was racism. Not from him, on him. In one game, he was asked to hand out fortune cookies, and the only reason he did so was because he didn't understand the stereotypical of Asian people in American culture. Then, there was Shaq. Shaq may be one of the best of all time, but he wasn't the nicest to Yao Ming, and before his first meeting, when he was on the Lakers, he made fun of the Chinese language. In the game itself, Yao scored the Rockets' first 6 points of the game and blocked O'Neal twice in the opening minutes, as well as altering 2 other shots by O'Neal, all 4 of those attempts coming right at the rim, and made a game-sealing dunk with 10 seconds left in overtime. Yao finished with 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 blocks. O'Neal recorded 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 0 blocks. O'Neal later admitted that he regretted how he treated Yao early in his career. Yao finished his rookie season averaging 13.5 points and 8.2 rebounds per game. and was second in the NBA Rookie of the Year award, voting to Amari Stoudemire, an anonymous pick for the NBA All-Rookie First-Team selection. He was also voted the Sporting News Rookie of the Year and won the Loiras New Welcomer of the Year award. 3. His dominant years. After a solid rookie season, it was in his sophomore year that people really started to see how good Yao was. He not only helped lead the Rockets to the playoffs, but he averaged career highs in certain seasons, even getting a 41-point game at one point. When he was on the court, he was dominant both offensively and defensively. During one season, he was pulling in 25.7 points and 11.6 rebounds per game, while shooting 53.7% from the field and 87.8% at the free throw line. He was a consistent all-star when he played long enough. Furthermore, he was becoming an international icon, including at one point in 2007, Yao played against fellow Chinese NBA and Milwaukee Bucks player Yi Jilan for the first time. The game, which the Rockets won 104-88, was broadcast on 19 networks in China and was watched by over 200 million people in China alone, making it one of the most watched NBA games in history. You hear the problem though, right? Yao was good when he was on the court. 2. Injuries. In his first 2 seasons, Yao Ming was rarely injured, only missing 2 games between those 2 seasons. But afterwards, he was frequently injured and continually missed large stretches of games. His biggest weakness were his feet and ankles, which repeatedly got fractured, sprained, and required many surgeries. There were times where he missed large chunks of the season or even missed whole seasons because of them. In short, something Yao was not. He was great but fragile, a classic problem with big men in the NBA. On July 20th, 2011, Yao announced his retirement from basketball in a press conference in Shanghai. He cited injuries to his foot and ankles as the reasons for this, including the 3rd fracture to his left foot sustained near the end of 2010. 1. So how good was he really? So how can you measure the career of a man who honestly missed a lot of games in the later half of his career? Simple, by gauging how good he was when he was at his full strength, and he was good. He averaged over 19 PPG in his career and about 10 rebounds. Yao ranks 6th amongst franchise leaders in total points and total rebounds, and 2nd in total blocks. Not to mention, he was brought into the NBA Hall of Fame, alongside longtime rival Shaq as well as Allen Iverson. He is now one of the heads of the CBA and continues to help the NBA by being their ambassador to China. It's true that Yao Ming never got to have the career that many felt he could do due to injuries. But remember, no one really expected him to do well overall. So we went from a tall nobody to a man who changed the culture of the NBA and opened the door to a business relationship with China. So yeah, he was good, really good. We only wish we could have done more to show just how good he could have been over time. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Yao Ming and breaking down all that he was in the NBA and all that he might have been? Do you think that Yao Ming is deserving of his place in the NBA Hall of Fame? Do you believe that people need to put a little more respect on his name, given all that he gave to the game and how he dominated on the court when he was around? What do you feel his true legacy is? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.